Hey, 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 Freedom Fam. Hey, 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 hey. It is Freedom Friday. It is Freedom Friday. I hope y'all brought y'all cups. I hope you got a cup with you. I hope you have a cup with you. I have mine. There's a little more honey. Mm, let the people know. Good grief. That I'm here. Y'all know what? Y'all be doing a lot on Beyonce's in a minute. Y'all know what? Y'all be doing a lot on Beyonce's in a minute. Oh, that was me. That was me. Let me turn it down. I'm tagging a few people. I am tagging just a few people to let them know that I'm here. I'm here a little early today. 4:30 is the regular time, y'all. 4:30 is the regular time. But today I have to be somewhere. And we are leaving at 4, more than likely. More than likely leaving about 4. So I wanted to make sure that I I got my broadcast in because I like making sure that I communicate with y'all every day. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Well, it's not got cloudy, but it's still a beautiful day outside. It is still a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes. I know. The only thing about changing your time is, your people don't necessarily know, even though you put out an announcement. But that is okay. That is quite all right. Oh, Shannon, no. What time do you get off? I wanna talk. Oh, now it's super good. So in my cup, so when you come in, this is something new I started, Shannon. When you come in, tell me where you're watching from, whether it's live or the replay. Tell me what you got in your cup, what you're drinking. So I did a repeat of yesterday. I have green tea that has elderberry in it. Um, Shannon, Bonnie gave me this cup years ago, years and years ago. It says, if you believe all things are possible, rejoice in this day. If you believe all things are possible. Hey, TJ. But y'all know that belief has to grow. Oh my gosh. Wow, wow, wow. I talked about that. I talked about that last night in my class. I taught the fifth module of my Freedom to Forgiveness class last night. And we talked about trusting God. You don't have nothing in your cup, TJ, put some water in it. And we talked about trust, right? You remember the soapstone? We talked about trust. Because we talked about loving somebody, but you sometimes you don't trust them the way, that you should. And that if you trust in the things that God said, then you can trust that He loves you enough to, number one, heal the hurt, and number two, handle the person that offended you. But that's like the end of the class. So that was just a free nugget. So today, TJ, I'll be sending you the recording of the class probably as soon as I finish here. I hope you got some rest last night. So anyway, hello everyone. My name is Karen Booth. I'm the baggage handler, and this is Tea and Truth with Karen Booth, where we talk about the truth about forgiveness while we have a little tea time. And for those of you all that are here that didn't know, my regular time every day at 4:30. I'm early today because I have to leave and handle some good. I'm glad I have to leave and handle some take care of some family stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead on and get started. Hopefully some more people will come on in, or we will have the mighty replay crew will show up. So Freedom Friday, I'm going to recap a lot of things that we talked about this week, just in case you missed it. And I talked about what forgiveness actually is. And so this week, we removed confusion by naming what forgiveness is not. Today is more about integration and gathering what has been clarified and naming what forgiveness actually is so that freedom can take root. Okay, yeah, that was feeling weird. So we talked about on Monday, we actually defined forgiveness. Okay. So we had a conversation about what forgiveness really is. Okay. We said forgiveness is choosing to stop having your sensibilities and feelings noticeably changed because of persistent ill will. Now, persistent ill will is a big set of words for you still mad at them. You still mad at them. You still, they walk in and you tighten up. They walk in, you roll your neck. All that. Persistent ill will or anger towards someone or something perceived to have wronged you. Forgiveness is an internal release. It's a decision to stop letting the past govern your emotional present. And the past can be years ago, the past can be yesterday. The past could be you mad at your boyfriend or your husband or your sister or something that they did stupid yesterday. And you're still feeling a way about it. To forgive is to choose to stop feeling that way, because contrary to popular belief, you actually do control your emotions. I remember one day at work, this lady was bothering me. Oh, she was bothering me so. Oh, God. And I said to myself, I remember sitting in my desk and I said, I can either sit here and be calm, or I can go up here and tell her about herself. And that particular day, I did not choose calm. I didn't choose calm. I didn't choose super ignorant, but I did not choose calm because she was talking just a little bit too strong and a little bit too rough to me. So I chose my emotions that day. That's how I know that you can control your feelings. And your feelings will impact the result, your behavior, and then the said result. The biblical through line about forgiveness. Biblically, forgiveness is release. It is the canceling of a debt. To forgive is to say somebody no longer owes you emotional repayment. They don't have to come groveling to your feet begging your forgiveness. They don't have they don't have to not grovel and just walk up. They don't have to ask you for your forgiveness. They don't have to apologize. It does the release does not require this emotional repayment. They need to come talk to me. They need to come say something. They do not have to. You want them to. Oh, yes, you want them to. You want them to. But to release the debt means the person no longer owes you that, not because accountability doesn't matter. Because a lot of times we want the person that wronged us to come and say something so that we can have the conversation. Forgiveness does not require this conversation to be had. So you don't forgive, you forgive, not because accountability doesn't matter, but because your own peace matters. Because if you're holding forgiveness and you're staying angry about whatever it is and you're waiting on them to come say something, then you're really holding, putting a big blockade up for your peace and your calmness to come in. Okay? So that's what we talked about Monday. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we said on Tuesday that forgiveness is not reconciliation. Access is optional. On Wednesday, we said forgiveness is not equal to trust. Forgiveness is an independent choice. Trust is something that is rebuilt, and the other person knows that they're participating in this rebuilding of the trust because you've had the conversation about where the relationship is going. Because hopefully you've asked God, and if God has said, yes, I would like for you to reconcile, even though it looks stupid as all get out. I would like for you to reconcile with them. Always ask God. Always ask God, this person hurt me really badly. Do I need to reconcile this relationship? Whatever he says, that's what you do. And if he says reconcile, then forgiveness is not trust. The only part of this that is a commandment from God is that you forgive. Forgiveness is mentioned over 100 times in the Bible. God says of Ephesians 4:31 and 32, be kind to one another and forgiving, right? The model prayer, forgive those as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. The Bible God requires forgiveness. You're not obligated to trust. Trust is something that is rebuilt over time. Trust is something that's built over time. And then somebody breaks what has been built. And so now if he says, go back and reestablish the friendship, then you take the time to rebuild. But forgiveness and trust are not equal. Like, the equal sign with the line through. Yeah, they're not equal. Okay. And then forgiveness is also not forgetting. We live in this space where you often hear forgive and forget, forgive and move on, forgive and don't bring it up, forgive. Maybe you're going to remember. I wouldn't, I have forgiven a lot, and I wouldn't have the testimonies of my healing if I didn't remember what was done. So forgiving is not forgetting. Forgiving opens the door so that God has access to heal the feelings, to heal the hurt in your feelings. Because let's face it, we can't heal our feelings. We can't heal our nothing. I mean, God gives us the ability to lay hands on ourselves and lay hands on things and and heal. But it's through God's power. So giving God access to tell you the things to do to help heal your feelings. Because I can honestly say that when I forgave, I still had hurt that needed to be healed. And depending on what kind of trauma, what kind of hurt, what kind of, whatever it is, then you may need a therapist. You may need a coach. Or you may get some instructions on from God on what to do. What to do that will help you help your feelings resolve so that they're not raw and tender and hurting anymore. And the trust piece goes, you trust God because you trust God that He'll, one, heal your feelings, and two, make Romans 12:19 come alive. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, I will avenge, which means that He will take action on your behalf for someone who has done something to you. Right? So you have to trust that. An example I used last night in my class was that, okay, you're the responsible adult. You're the auntie, you're the mama, you're the whoever you are. And you have two kids that you are keeping, sitting, taking care of. And one child does something ignorant to the other child. Now the other child comes and says, they did this to me. And the other one is over here. And so you have both kids that you love. They're both kids that you love. And you're going to say, hey, I need for you to forgive him. You're going to probably tell the other one, say, I'm sorry, and they do that. They do that, right? But now you have to take care of whatever has hurt this baby. And this baby has some consequences. You love them both. So if you think about it that way, then you say, God, somebody has done something to me. The other somebody is one of God's children too. One of God's children too. Right? And, you're going to do the forgiving part. You're going to release. You're going to say, I'm not going to act ignorant, all that. And then that frees God's hands to issue consequences to the other person. Because if you're walking around talking about, I'm going to bust the windows out that car, God's not going to do anything. He'll let you bust the windows out and let that be. Right? So the memory remains. The impact of the memory changes. I can talk about the things that were traumatic for me at one point that were my story at one point. But I've gone through forgiveness. And so now they're actually a part of my teaching material. All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. And these are the things that I teach because these are the things that I walked through and I've lived through. And so the soul impact. So when forgiveness is practiced as release, the nervous system calms. If you stay in a state of unforgiveness, your system stays in a state of fight or flight. So you're always like this, as opposed to like this. So His purpose, yes. So the thing that you need to remember is that forgiveness is always for you. Hey, Julie, how are you? Forgiveness is always for you. It is always for you. The nervous system calms. Your mind stops replaying and you stop living in the incident. Because if your mind keeps replaying the incident, It stays fresh, it stays new, the wound stays open and raw, and the healing cannot happen because you keep picking at the sore. That's why your mama told you stop picking at that sore. It'll heal. It'll heal, let alone. And then your soul feels lighter. I don't know if y'all have thank you, Julie. I don't know if y'all have ever just felt heaviness on the inside of you. I have. I have felt it on the inside of me. And walking through forgiveness and learning how to forgive, because it's not that stuff doesn't happen to me now that I have had this epiphany about forgiveness. It's not that stuff doesn't happen. Stuff happens. I have to use the tools that I have to use the tools that I teach. And something happened to me some months ago. And I had to use the tools. And baby, so every day I was like, yes, I forgive. Yes, I forgive. Yes, I forgive. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It didn't feel like it in my feelings, but in my head, in my mind, and in my heart, I had chosen forgiveness. And so, was I angry for a while? I was. Was I hurt for a while? I was. Did I feel heavy for a while? I did. But I kept saying, but I forgive. I forgive. And one day God told me, he was like, that's what the 70 times 7 means. When Peter asked, how many times am I supposed to forgive? 7 times. And Jesus was like, no, 70 times 7. And I read that for the first time in high school. I was like, so 490 times I gotta forgive. So on that 491st one, not what it means. Not what it means. Not what it means at all. What it means for me in that particular instance, and it could probably mean some whole more other stuff too, but what God showed me was that sometimes, most times, you say you forgive, and then the next day, the pain is still there. You say, I forgive. And the pain is still there, and I forgive. And the pain is still there, and I forgive. And the pain is still there, and I forgive. And the pain lessens, and I still forgive. And the pain lessens, and I still forgive. '70 times 7. Freedom often feels very, very subtle before it feels dramatic. So it's a process. The freedom of the soul, the removing of the heavy feeling. It's the process of I forgive and God healing, and I forgive and God healing. And then one day it's like, oh, the issue that you had to keep talking through because you had to keep venting about it, the issue that you had to keep calling your girlfriend and talking about and talking about and talking about, it's finally like, you know what, I ain't really got to talk about that no more. There's no point. Hey, Tia! I love you. Prayers for you. Hey, Venetia! We're almost finished. And so the reaction becomes less turning it over in your mind, more space to breathe. More space to breathe. You know? So, and then, some people, you think, you say, I forgive, and then the birds start flying and the angel music comes. It may take a minute. It may take a minute, and that's fine. If you still remember, that's fine. If you still don't trust, that's fine. Forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgiveness is not immediate trust. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. If you want to reconcile, if God says it, reconcile, then yes. So my Freedom Friday question to you: what am I still carrying that no longer belongs to me? Forgiveness begins when you are willing to set that down. Bada boom, bada bing. That's it. That's it for today, y'all. I hope everybody has had a good week. I hope that you have a good weekend. This is the conclusion of the Tea and Truth podcast for my first full week of January 2026. I will see y'all Monday. Regular time is 4:30 Central Standard Time. Regular time, 4:30 Central Standard Time. And the replay, it's available for the good 30 days that Facebook lets it stay up. So y'all, I hope y'all enjoy y'all's weekend. I hope you have some good things planned. I hope you have some rest time built into your weekend. Let's take care of these temples and let's have a great weekend. And I will see y'all on Monday. Bye bye.